Welcome back. It's Dr. Jason D. Now it's Mondays with Morley. Today we're going to have some fun and we're going to chat and rock and roll for about 30 minutes today. We'll do a little shorter one. I have some crazy stuff going on, good stuff. And then Morley loves technology, just so you know, everybody. He likes copper, but he loves technology.
I love technology because technology runs on copper, right?
It does. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Survived the holidays.
That's good. Did you party like a rock star?
Yeah, that's exactly my nature, don't you think?
Sure.
I'm just
Just like mine, just like mine, right? I did see the midnight ball drop, but that was only because I was working on some stuff. My daughter came in and goes, "Is it midnight?" And I had to show her with the ball. So this is perfect for a kid, right? So I was raised in the mainstream world, and I was like, "Oh, the ball drop, so cool!" Growing up, right? My daughter completely educated outside of the mainstream world. She has no idea what the pop culture world is. She's like, "Oh, the ball drop," and I go, "Look," I showed her, and she goes, "So that's it?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of like that's a huge deal in here." She goes, "Okay," totally doesn't care. Looks
yeah.
stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you stand outside in the cold wait for a ball to drop?
It's actually a great question. Why would you?
It is a great question.
I've never done that. I've been to parties and stuff, but never gone to New York to
No,
experience that.
either have I. I've heard it's not super fun. It's very packed. It's very cold. How are you doing?
Doing great. Finding information that I just like. Where has this been? And I'm just always amazed at what is lurking in the shadows. And
Do you feel like you're always learning something new with it? Obviously you are, but do you feel like it just connects more dots, or do you feel like do you have to go down a lot of different rabbit holes, or is it just taking you down deeper into the paradigm?
deeper.
Okay.
The amazing thing about the research is the um, structure and composition of the root cause protocol hasn't changed in 10
Right.
years. But the reason why it's critical changes every day. It gets deeper and richer and more important with each passing day. And like over the weekend, I came across articles that were talking about the start of life. So you've got something called the luteinizing hormone,
Yes.
very, very important hormone, as you know.
Yep.
And um, here we have an article from 1984 talking about how the luteinizing hormone doesn't work without copper.
Okay.
Well, it's just, and it's not just that, I mean, it's just like, really, how does that truth, this, I mean, they're very sophisticated how they talk about it, but the bottom line is it doesn't work without copper. So then I, over the weekend, found a couple articles that talk about the egg called an oocyte
Mm-hmm.
needs to become a blastocyte,
Yep.
and then the growth begins to branch out from there. Well, nothing happens without copper. None of that happens without copper.
You're bringing back all my biochemistry chiropractic
Sure.
101 here.
Right, but they didn't talk to you about copper. They
No
just
one
told you
no
about the.
one's ever talked to me about copper besides
I
you,
know,
Morley.
I know. But the thing is, um, there's something called, I've never seen the phrase before, nuclear maturation.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, right. It's happening inside the oocyte, the
Yep.
egg.
Yep.
It can't mature without copper. It can't get ready to divide without copper. And there's so many different stages of maturation in the body, and every one of them requires copper. And it's like, when I first started this work, I thought, oh, yeah, we need copper to make energy and we need copper to clear the exhaust. But it's like every day there's just another nuance. And I came across a uh, an enzyme this morning I'd never seen before. See if I can remember it from memory. Adenosine, adenosine uh, homocysteine. Give me a second. This is it's a block. It's a
Adenosine,
tongue.
homocysteine. I'm gonna look it up while he does it. Homocysteine. Adenosine, homocysteine. No, that's all I got too.
Adenosyl,
Oh,
adenosyl homocysteinase, homocysteinase, and and its initials are AHCY.
sounds like an enzyme.
It's an enzyme, right? Enzyme that breaks down S-adenosyl homocysteine into adenosine and homocysteine. It's a
Oh,
critical part of the methylation process. Well, there are about 7 different enzymes in methylation that are all copper dependent. But I've got the MTHFR thing. Like, no, you're just a copper desert. That's all. And then I found an article where they took the, the most severe form of copper dysfunction is called Wilson's
yep.
disease. And what the body's doing is it's accumulating the copper, but it can't distribute it properly. And it starts to collect in the brain, shows up in the eyes, and it really floods the liver, and people die. I mean, it's a pretty gruesome. Or now what they do is they chelate the copper out, but it's a key enzyme, ATP7B, that's just not working. So they've come up with a retroadenovirus that can correct this problem. I'm like, really? This is one of the most celebrated genetic conditions.
Does that not surprise you?
This is the very first gene defect that was identified in 1911. And Kinnear Wilson was a neurologist in London and stumbled upon a family that had this problem. And and here they've got this virus now, this retrovirus, that can correct the problem. You don't hear people talking about that, do you? And it's like they they've created what are called mice with aceruloplasminemia, which means that the mice are not expressing ceruloplasmin. That they're not able to make the protein to express the enzymes. So they thought, well, let's see what happens if we just inject the mice with ceruloplasmin. They perked right up. They were fine. They 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 had the same function with the exogenous ceruloplasmin that they had that the natural littermates had who didn't have this condition. It's like maybe that maybe all we really need is ceruloplasmin,
That's
you know, and
interesting.
let the body solve its own problems. And that's what they did back in 59. Leach and Heath and Martins were 3 psychiatrists from Harvard, and they gave 34 schizophrenics um, 1 shot of ceruloplasmin. 30 of them were cured. 1 shot. And so it's this mind-numbing disconnect between all these symptoms that people have, and like there's supposed to be a different solution with each symptom. No,
Right.
you don't. That's the whole. That's the gotcha is that there's there's one answer to all the different symptoms,
Right.
and the body knows how to sort it out. It really does. The body knows there's a blueprint. The body knows exactly where the oxidative stress is, and the body knows how to solve it. And it's like, I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to set up a lab in Cuba, right?
Cuba.
Because yeah, CU hyphen BA. Just have some fun with it, right? And then ship it over.
Interesting.
Why not? We can't make it here in the States. Let's make it offshore, and we'll ship it in black market. People
I
that
think
know
it's all
about
going
it.
to change here. I really do.
Well, that'd be great. Then we'll be ready for the change. But we don't need 100,000 different drugs. We just need one protein. I mean, I'm absolutely, I'm goofy about it, but I'm convinced that that's what we've been trained to believe, that there's 100,000 problems. We got to have all this. No, you don't. It's all the same problem, playing out in different tissue.
Well,
Some people,
if you would just find a way and show them how to profit from it, then you would win.
there's got to be a profit. Is that a prerequisite?
Why do you think the drugs are on TV? You you think the
I
drugs are
think
on TV like no? Why do you think there's a new drug made every day?
no, I know that. I understand.
Got to be money, man. Economy is not. I tell everybody that more. I tell everybody that it's not about corruption or greed or anything like that. It's the money, the world as you've known it yourself. And then if you go back in history, I don't care how far you go back, like they've always traded, they've always bought and sold. There's always been money in circulation, right?
Right.
So
There's always currency.
there's always currency. So as long as you're gonna have currency and that's not going away ever, right? That we know of, then you could change the whole world with copper tomorrow if there was a profit line involved.
No, fair enough. I'm not disputing that. It's just, it seems crass. It seems unnecessary.
Do you
But
know?
but
Do
I
you know
understand.
why? Do you know why the Make America Healthy again is being successful right now? Because
No, I know.
a
I
lot of
actually,
people, more a lot of people would say, "Oh well, it's because we're waking up," and yeah, there's a wake up process to it, right?
right.
But if you didn't, I don't know if you know this, but like the population, there's a word for it, the birth rate, whatever it is, right? The
Yeah,
birth rate in America is 1.6. If you're not above 2.0,
you can't
your
replace your.
society civilization doesn't stay around. I think China and many other countries are down to 1.2. So
That's right.
one of the reasons you have to keep that birth rate up is guess what? There's not enough people for companies to make money from.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So you got to get the birth rate up. You got to get people. So what do you have to do? You got to cut back on the shit for a while and stop killing people off, so we can so we can have a society again, and there'll be more money to be made again.
That's a very circular argument. What about AI taking all these jobs away?
That's always going to happen. There's always going to be innovation. I love AI. I think the AI revolution is necessary. You know why? Morley,
I can't.
there's so
Can't
much
repeat.
waste. There's so much wasted time out there. That when
Yes.
I used to work in a company back in my early, oh my gosh, late 20s into almost 30, and I worked around good people. But more out of a 40-hour work week, the average person might have worked 10. Like, and it was there. They just there's so much wasted time. So
Right.
how do you fix that? Every single administrative task becomes AI, and then people have to learn skill sets.
Oh,
We lost the ability to skill set. We've lost skill sets. Now it's all administrative. Data entry should not be a person sitting down for 40 hours and putting in numbers. A computer can do that.
that's a good point. That's fair.
Does that make sense? I mean, I know I sometimes people tell me I sound like a greedy capitalist. It's not greedy capitalism. It's just efficiency.
Well, I remember when I got out of business school and then went into consulting was when secretaries began to disappear. And
Yeah,
it was fascinating to see that transition from the dependence on another person, that no, I can do my own flight arrangements, I can
yeah.
do this, I can do that. And and then it's like after about 6 months to 9 months, you never really look back. You,
No,
you
hundred
just
percent.
don't.
It's there's a new There's a new app thing coming out. It's not released yet. It's Google. I think it was called Jarvis. They probably changed the name on it. And you install it on your computer, and you no longer like your groceries. People buy the same stuff. You got to catch a flight. You got to get a hotel. You no longer look stuff up on your own. You actually just tell it what to do, and it goes and finds exactly what you want to do, and you just book it when you want to book it because it's doing everything for you. It's literally an assistant. And now let me tie this back to what you do, because a lot of people are really terrified of this. They're really like, oh my gosh, this is bad. Morley, the body, copper. Does the body like inefficiency, or is it as efficient as it can possibly get?
It's as efficient as it can be.
Correct. So
right.
In reality, copper and the body are just like the AI systems. They despise inefficiency. They despise a breakdown in the system. The body works efficiently, and copper and the different minerals. It's all an efficient plan. So then, why wouldn't we want the same thing?
Well, I think those are good points. The part that I bristle at is believing that everything that comes out of AI is accurate and true. And,
that's a whole other story. That's dependent on the data it's given.
Right. Exactly.
But again, same with the body. If you put shit in the body, you're gonna get shit back out.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
If you live on a iron fortified diet, that body is going to break itself down.
So to me, I think these are all good points. What I really want to know is, how do we make copper believable?
Make it what? Believable?
Believable. That.
Oh, I believe it.
Well, no. I know
Make America copper again.
Yeah, but the thing is, you believe it. We've been talking for what, 6 years?
Oh God, longer than that.
Well, it's been a long time, and I think early on you might have been a little skeptical, but you jumped in pretty quickly.
It was pretty fast. I saw what you were talking about. It made sense to me.
Yeah, so intuitively you made the leap, but not everyone's done that. And I'm fascinated.
That's their own beliefs. That's their own belief systems and a refusal to want to learn something new.
All right. So then, how do you get people to unlearn something?
Well, if you ask me, it's a polarity shift, and you have to shock and awe them. That's my personal opinion. Now, that also comes down to, once you shock and awe them and you throw it in their face, then you have to educate. Now, that also takes such a long time.
I know.
And quite honestly, I hate bringing this up because obviously we're all mortal, right?
No, I'm going to live forever.
Well, no, this is funny because I was just talking to I went back home to New York over the weekend really quick, and I saw some of my old family that I haven't seen in a long time. We were talking, and they're very traditional people, but they also get technology, and we were talking about the exact things we're talking about now, and they were very hesitant on stuff, and I said, this stuff will take an immense amount of time. Now, when I say an immense amount of time, that doesn't mean it won't happen in your lifetime. It'll happen 10, 20 years from now, so you'll see it, but the adoption of things take time. But if you're not already doing it, it'll never happen. So you can't think, oh my gosh, it's going to take time, so let's think of something else. No, you have to start now for that 10 to 20 years to actually kick in, if that makes sense.
Right, it does.
Which you've been doing.
Yeah. 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah, 100%.
But I still think it feels like there's steps that can be taken to help people unlearn what they know. And I appreciate what you're saying about shock and awe. I get that. But is there some process that we could go, like, what would it take? We've got 44 people on, I'm sure
that's just on X. That's on Twitter.
That's right. 44. What would it take for that to be 4,000?
You know what you'd probably have to have? You would. I know that I could flip it faster on this. Do I have a one-step, super simple, do-at-home blood or diagnostic test that would show a potential problem with their copper and iron, and like almost a prognosis style futuristic look at what that means?
So there's a clinician in Turkey who has that test.
So we need to get that over here.
Right.
How do
But
we do that?
it's against the law.
Why? What?
Well, no, that's we're back to you really want to make America healthy again? Give us access to that test because it's
Okay.
the game
So
changer.
when you say it's against the law, what law? Like what kind of law? Like some FDA
FDA,
regulation or what?
FDA
Right. But
bars
what?
the use of that.
But live blood analysis was too, and we just kept doing it until no one gave a shit.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
I mean, it was just very like they're saying don't do it. It's not good. I mean, people
No,
do.
this is a little stronger than don't do it.
Why is it against the law?
You're talking to the wrong guy. I didn't start it. I'm just telling you.
No. Is it like do they consider it dangerous? Is it an injectable of some kind or like
It,
what?
it eviscerates the whole argument of anemia. I can tell in a nanosecond with that test whether you're really anemic or not.
Do you have to tell me offline what this test is called, or you can say it publicly?
No, it's just called the colorimetric ferroxidase assay.
Oh, we talked about that one time.
Right.
All right,
But there's a guy.
you're gonna text that to me so I can start researching it deeper.
Okay. Well, I'll send you the article with a guy in Turkey
Perfect.
who's with a better way to measure it.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
he's automated it to the point where a monkey can do it now. It's like
Well, the
they don't
American
even,
doctors will do well with it then. They're all fucking
I
monkeys.
know,
Sorry.
right? You said it. I agreed with it. Just to set the record straight. Oh my God.
Um,
No, but the thing is, I, I I want to get to 4,000.
I
I don't want to get
understand.
to I don't want to get to 400,000.
100%. I totally agree. Since we're on a
Yeah.
short show today, we're gonna take some questions now. Okay.
Cool. Let's do it.
Sorry.
That's great.
And by the way, the short shows are for a good reason today. Morley, we are eradicating fluoride from the water systems in the cities of Florida. Very good stuff.
That's beautiful.
Someone I know, patient of mine, says, Dr. Dean, can you ask Morley about the two different copper supplements I'm taking? I don't remember what she said, what she means by that exactly, but what I think it is basically taking two forms of potentially copper. Let's say like the serum and the in a capsule. Is there a
Yeah.
problem with that? Do you see an issue with it? Is the body using it? What's your feedback?
No, the body is going to use it.
Okay.
I think the body is starved for this mineral. The advantage of the serum is it's topical.
Okay.
It's really good for joints and tendons and connective tissue, things like that.
So you could rub that around the joint areas actually to make it even better.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And the the body has any kind of wound repair is going to be copper dependent. Hyaluronic acid is copper dependent,
Okay.
and then the supplement is just you're going to get the distribution throughout the body.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the somebody says, what about the what about I'm gonna say the lies. What about the lies that copper causes kidney stones? Have you heard that?
Actually, I haven't heard it expressed that way.
Well, I said the lies. They said what about? They said does she's read copper causes kidney stones. That's so I'm asking. I put the lie thing in.
Um, I'm trying to think of the mechanism. What's behind a stone is usually calcification,
Yes.
and what's behind calcification is iron. When the iron can't be regulated and recycled properly, it's going to create oxidative stress, which is going to disrupt the endoplasmic reticulum, which is going to release calcium, which is what's going to be behind the stone. Copper is not going to cause the stone.
Okay.
I've never read that.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense. Apparently there's two recuperate
With
products.
and without boron. With and without boron.
Oh, ooh, that maybe that. Tell me about that.
Well, the boron is an amazing mineral. It's probably most known for its effect on arthritis.
Okay.
And I think what it does is it doesn't have catalytic properties as much as it tends to be a sink for oxygen.
Okay.
And so that boron grabs that oxygen so it can't interact with iron to create oxidative stress to create the symptoms of arthritis. And so we decided to make two versions of it. And I think people just need to experiment with it to see whether they like it or not.
That makes sense. I like that. That's a great idea.
I mean, some people just prefer it without, and then they take their own boron.
Yeah.
Other people like to have it in there.
You're getting rave reviews from the serum, by the way.
Oh, good. That's
Morley. Let me. Okay, I'll conclude with this today. Can I tell you how to expand copper as fast as humanly possible to America? I'll tell you exactly how to do it.
I can't wait.
It's called vanity.
No kidding, right?
You take that serum and you find a legal way to tell women and men, specifically women, obviously,
Right.
how to reverse their aging, look better, skin. I mean, Anne said that she uses the serum and she said uses it on her face and she gets great compliments on her 70-year-old skin. The women, you turn this thing into something about regeneration and anti-aging, game's over, Morley.
That's a great strategy. It really,
Of course it
makes
is.
Yeah.
They love it. My wife is the Morley. My wife is the most non-vain person on the planet.
Yeah.
She has her skin serums all over the place too. My daughter's 11. She's putting skin serums on. I went like 2 weeks one time without sleeping really well, and like there was like some more wrinkles coming in. My wife buys me some stupid cream from the health food store. I'm doing this, trying to make it go away.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And then I went to sleep. I went to sleep and actually got sleep. I'm like, oh, it went away. Look at that.
No, it's funny. I'm looking at myself. I got the old turkey neck. I got the creases here and the wrinkles.
I'm telling you, just down the road. Just down the road, Morley. Just down the road.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a McLaren vehicle, McLaren car?
Oh yeah. Sure.
Okay. So I'm not a car guy, but I've heard of the McLaren, right? So I've seen a McLaren in my area, right? And then I found out the McLaren is owned by essentially a cosmetic surgeon in the area, but he doesn't do. I don't think he does plastic. He does Botox. And when I get onto the highway, there's two offices. He's on billboards. I went to a Top Golf event for something, and he was there, and I met him, and he was a nice guy. I mean, he was kind of full of himself, but he was actually a very nice guy. Right. And he told me it's vanity. Like his whole thing is built on women who obviously have facial things that they want to fix. They're willing to put a freaking botulism bacteria in the freaking face.
I know.
Morley.
It's crazy.
Copper, anti-aging, and biohacking, I'm telling you.
All right. Well, we're going to talk more about that.
We'll talk more about that, okay?
Yeah. No, I think it's a win-win-win.
I think it's a win-win-win too, and I'm actually serious. That actually could do a lot there. So, thank you for jumping on today. Thanks for help. We fixed Morley's tech. Now you know. Now you know what happens.
We got the right wires in the right places, and thank you very much. Appreciate
yes. Briefly before we go, any insight onto the next things you're looking into, or things in the next week or so you're catching up on?
I'm going to continue to really drill down on this embryo and oocyte and fertility and all that stuff, because I think it's a huge issue. You talk about vanity. I think people are really worried about fertility. So
I would agree with that as well. Absolutely. Very good. Thank you for video bombing, Dr. Liz. Appreciate that. Well done. Video bomb. Very good.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
everybody, this is Mondays with Morley. Thank you, Morley. I appreciate you.
Good luck with your meetings.
I appreciate that. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.